Word of God from the perspective of the original writers and how the original hearers received the book that was written to them. Date: every fourth day, Wednesdays in June, 12 noon and 5 p.m. You will see the Bible come alive, and those things you're struggling with dissipate completely from your life with your new perspective on God's Word. Don't come alone. Make sure you invite a friend.
Free bus shuttle every first day of the week, Sunday, now available for family members and first-timers around 1st and 2nd East Secular, Way, St. Saviour and Sapumba access. Takeoff point, Mobile by Ekyusa Market. Takeoff time, 7 a.m. New Benin, Upper Mission and Ekewa Road access will be available soon. For inquiry and partnership, please call 070-6969-6499.
And I'm of the Adulam School of Supernatural Reformation and Transformation 2022 stream, and I want to use this opportunity to invite people and family members who have not participated or who have never been through the School of Supernatural Reformation. It was a pivotal time in my life that helped me move up to the part of my life and path God wanted for me. I used to struggle with knowing what to do with hearing the voice of God. I learned firsthand how to apply the voice of God to my day-to-day life. I learned how to be a Christian, not because of the title of it, but what it actually means inside of me. And I also learned how to live a prophetic life. Please do join us this year as we unfold a new stream for the Adulam School of Supernatural Reformation, and I hope to have you all attend, and I pray that God will make it possible.
Shalom family, my name is Derek Imomo, Program Manager, Secure the Future Initiative, and this is the weekly update from Secure the Future. Secure the Future is a faith-based non-governmental organization, a signature ministry of Fame Foundation, and our vision is transform mind, reform society. Mission is using kingdom values to reshaping values, beliefs, and culture in order for all to reach their full potential. In the past couple of months, we have been providing value orientation and skill acquisition to 10 public schools. And Good 18, we just received approval for another additional 23 schools. And during this course of providing these services weekly in these schools, we realized that there are students who need educational support. We were able to provide WAEC and NECO enrollment for 4 students, although it wasn't part of our programming, but we could not just look past it. Based on that, we have decided to launch the Education Support Program. The Education Support Program is targeted at providing WAEC and NECO enrollment for 200 students next year at the cost of 50,000 naira, making it 10 million naira. You can decide to provide enrollment for 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, as the Lord blesses you. And we are asking you to please join us and let's drive education and restore value and dignity to children, to humanity, and back to our state. For more information, use the contact on the screen. I will be glad to connect with you. Thank you. We are happy we are transforming life and reforming society.
African praise with firm music, experiencing heaven and earth through prophetic praise and worship. Date 25th June, 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Venue 5 Oregbunu Crescent off Idienuma Street, GRA, Benin City. As instructed in Psalm 100 verses 4 and 5. Let's give thanks to God for He is good and His mercy endures forever. And Revelation 7 verse 9a. Let's praise Him, every tribe and tongues. Join us come June 25th as we raise an altar of praise in the African way. Come experience healing, revival, and heart transformation. See you there.
Do you know there is another fellowship in heaven?
The human body is an organized system. In fact, you are alive and well because of the support provided by the network of systems too numerous to mention, both inside and outside of your body. God's desire is for you to be a support system to someone, just as others are to you. Ephesians 4 verse 16 and John 15 verse 5. You are most alive when connected to a functional system. Your life group is your support system. How functional are you in your life group? Be a part of support system today. Join a life group.
not be able to hear the way you used to hear.
That's so true. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that answers the question for that person, and I hope the person is online, today, just waiting for that. So, you spoke extensively on how every one of us, we are unique, and we were created. God carefully designed, crafted us.
Yeah.
So, can you just go a little bit deeper on that before we have some specific questions, but just as a way of introducing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, just like that person said just now, I like serving behind the scene, not a frontline person. Always likes to be hidden. So we need to now understand, and that's the way the person likes it. But over time, the person has been abused, saying that, why you're. Some people can even be laughing at the person that, you're always helping people to succeed and nobody knows you. But that's the person's. He doesn't want to be on the stage. He's a significant person, not a prominent person. You can be prominent and yet not significant. So what we need to do is to now understand, who am I? Am I trying to be like somebody else? And when you try to be like somebody else, you are not going to be feel that, I have this thing that I've been craving for, but there's still not that fulfillment that comes and saying, this is what I need to be doing. You might have money, you might have the fame, and no doubt, like I tell people, we as humans are very powerful. What we are looking for, we will find, even if it's not God's best for us. And when you find it, you would think that, God has endorsed it. But you don't understand that it's taking you to a place where you are not designed to stay. And that's why people now have premature exposure. So, are you called to sing? Sing. Are you called to organize? Because there's what is called the gift of administration. You might go to school and learn administration, but it's not a gift. If somebody that has the gift of will put things in, even the person that went to school, not that I'm not saying school is bad. It's good, go and do it, go and learn it. Just like the gift of administration that Joseph had when he entered Potiphar's house. He had it also when he got to the palace. Everything was organized. Why? It was a pure prophetic gift. So all you need to do is to partner with what God has given you. Now, most people don't want to do that because it may not be the reigning thing. And so we need to understand how okay, some people will be asking, how do I get my design? Yes. How do I find it? Jesus said, my meat is to do your will, to do his will. In other words, what gives me strength is when I do his will. Now, what do you feel fulfilled doing? Or you love to do? But the thing is that it doesn't bring money. It's a call to it. What are you, when you get to a place, what do you want to solve? It's a call to it. Not only that, what are the prophetic words over your life? What are the prayers people pray over you that they may not be able to cancel you? But it comes in a bit of prayer. It comes also sometimes you go to a place where nobody knows you. And maybe it's a prophetic conference, something that happens. And somebody looks at you and said, I feel this is what I can hear about you. Those are the things we need to start documenting. And you don't look like it. Imagine you look at somebody and say he's an evangelist. And he doesn't even like to be around people. I've seen that work severally. So these are the ways you can now enter. Also, one of the ways you enter is by serving. Yeah, by serving. Jesus said, I came to serve. The kings of this world lord it over them. Caesar lords it over you people. He's called the Son of God, but he's oppressing many to favor the little. I have come as the Son of God to set people free, to serve them into their destiny. As the person that who is supposed to be the second born, that has mercy, but now has taken the place of the first son, who is the patriarch to bring redemption to others who are oppressed. And I believe that God has given us that privilege to partner with him.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm just wondering, does that answer the questions of maybe? I interact with certain persons and there are no definite yes or no. We're in between. You mentioned, what do I do that gives me fulfillment? Okay, for some, the answers are not, it's not a straight yes, no, this is what gives me fulfillment. There are in-betweens. I'm not sure, I think it does, I think it doesn't. So does this also answer that, or is there a different approach they need to take?
One, that also is also a challenge, but I want to ask a question, maybe is what I think. Is there a struggle between, if I do this, I think I will be poor? I think I will not have the provision I need that I will use on earth. Maybe nobody will know me. I can't even do this and get married and raise a family. Is that the question that's why we have in between? No, it's something we need to wrestle with.
Yeah.
What if what is in your mind now, what you love to do, you can care for your family? Will you do it? When you look into the future concerning your life, will you do it? If that one can be answered, then you are now a free person in you. You're free. You are really walking in freedom. Because the issue about money is about what is your slave driver. What calls you that you must answer, even if God is calling you. So it's one thing we need to wrestle with, is to be able to understand, how do I pursue this? How do I go to this? When David was killing the lions and the bears, there was no money. He was even rejected by the people they even raised. That's the last rejection before he got to the throne. Okay.
So you talked about wrestling.
Yeah.
And there are several things we can wrestle with as regards this subject of living by God's design.
Yeah.
I'm also, just wrestling with the thought of, is every dream or everything I think, is it God's design, or is there something specific? Are all my thoughts God's design? All my dreams, are they God's design? Or is there just this one thing that I need to search for and find? Or is it a combination of both? I don't.
You see, in fulfilling God's dream for your life and living by design, it's a journey. It's a journey. It's not. If you look through the Bible is a journey to Christ. It's a journey, and many people think that God is in a hurry, like we are impatient. But it was a journey. From the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world. What it was dealing in Genesis was not what it was dealing in Exodus, even Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy, and all through the prophets, even to the writings and everything. Everything was pointing to one person, Christ. But people may not know it. For example, you're saying, oh, this wrestling. I love to do this. Why don't you, whatsoever your hand finds to do it with all your heart. Yeah. And if you have not been faithful in what's in another man's, who will give you your own? So, even if I don't know God's design for my life, and I can see that somebody knows his own, why don't I drop my bag in that person and serve, so the person actually comes into what God has for the person? In doing that, don't you think I will come into mine? But in this day of we are going back to when the days of Caesar and all those other emperors, where everybody wants a monument for himself, to be put in Heron, and we want that, and not understanding that for those people to get there, there are some people that they need to step on. There are people they need to go, and to maybe they killed people to be there. But we are not supposed to be killers. We're supposed to be givers of life. Yeah. So if I come into your space and I see that you are doing something, I have to remove some things in my heart, like jealousy. rivalry, trying to be better than you, be in competition with you. I'm supposed to compliment you. And come to your space and say, you see, Daniel, I know this thing is not what you are doing something. I don't know what I've got to do, but I just feel to come and help you to do this without any form of ulterior motive to see how I can destroy you and build mine. But to make you the best that you will, thereby fulfilling what Christ said. He washed the dirtiest part of their body, their feet. And he said, I have done this to you. Now do it for others. Do it for one another. I came to serve. I have all authority right now to become an emperor. But I use that authority to serve you. So why don't you do it for others? And that's what we are called, to demonstrate to the world. Because when we're talking about dream, I'm not talking about being selfish. Yeah. Because we'll get to the place where we'll talk about dreaming together, dreaming in community. It has not helped us. It used to help us then when some things have not come up in communities. They will tell you it takes a village to raise a child. And now it has come to the limelight. And that's what we're doing in Africa. But you see, when individualism comes into it, my personal freedom should not be exalted above my community responsibility.
Wow.
And that's where a believer who is following Jesus Christ, there should be a difference between you and the world.
Can you break down that statement, sir? My personal freedom should not be exalted above the communal responsibility.
Yeah, you see, we want to have the freedom to do what we want to do, irrespective of whether you get hurt or not. And most fathers have made that mistake. I want to have as much women I can. It's personal freedom.
It is.
But what happens to the wife, the children? Are their hearts together or they are broken? I have a responsibility to raise godly children. And being able to tame my appetites. Because your appetite will want to control you. And that appetite is telling you, I beg, you can do anything you want to do. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. But you see, the personal freedom of Ruth was to go back to her people.
Yeah.
But she has seen over time how Elimelech and Naomi lived. I'm sure she wanted that and will not allow her personal freedom to jeopardize the community she has entered, even with the issue of death. Can we have such thing that I can look at you and say to you, nothing can separate you from my love? Can I make the sacrifice for my wife, for my children, to tame my appetite, to fight for community instead of fighting for my personal vision? The vision of the community.
Wow.
If we can have people like that. The disciples had a way to run away. But they said, what we have seen, what we have touched, what we have handled. Their personal responsibility was not involved. The dangers was too much. But they stayed with it, and today they have handed over to us that beautiful thing, the way of Christ. If they were having their personal freedom, or they went after their personal freedom, we would not be here today. So, we need to sacrifice our appetite for the responsibility of the community.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. I'm just going to jump the gun a little bit here, because you were sharing at the weekend service how we can partner with God in living according to our design. And Of course, you started by saying that we should honor our unique shape, which must also be in tandem with our speed. But I'm just going to move ahead to one of the things you talked about, where you said we should live within the boundaries of our unique identity.
Yeah.
And you were saying, as an example, that if you are a singer, you should not be forced or under pressure or let people talk you into living something that you are not, you know. And I'm just looking for where the balance is, in the sense that, okay, I feel like I'm gifted for something. I feel like this is my unique design. Maybe I'm an administrator, but I'm within a community or a system that there is a gap, but it needs a different gift mix. But the community needs me to fill that role, even though it's not my unique design. How do I navigate that? Should I turn it down?
You see, that's why I said personal freedom to community responsibility.
Yes, that's why I asked the question.
Yes. I'm gifted for this, but we need to sweep the room. And if we don't sweep the room, even my gift will not show. And that's why I said it's a journey. Because some people just pick it up and say, no, I'm only going to sing. I agree. You are good to sing, but before the singing, can we eat? It's a journey. There are other things attached to you that you need to fill up. So it's not to be rigid. That's why I didn't say wall, I say boundaries.
Yeah.
And some boundaries, how do you tell the real boundary between the river and the land when there is tides coming? So it's not to be so rigid that you say, oh, I will not do this. For even part of the things I do as a pastor, there are some parts of the job I don't like. But it has to be done. It has to be done. So if it makes me doing those things, I need to do it because it's going to bring freedom to people. That's why some here we say, we have this mantra. We say, you do ministry where you are needed. It's a secondary one. I know you are not really a prophet, but we need prophetic people now. What are the prophetic people that need to hear God and encourage people? At least you can encourage people. For now.
So is it possible to find joy and fulfillment doing that? Because I come across a lot of press, especially young people, that said, I don't find joy doing it. It's not what I feel I should be doing. I'm just doing it because I was asked to. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
So how do you find joy and fulfillment doing something that is necessary but is not especially what you feel you are gifted for? Okay. But the community needs it. That's
when
your
Jesus
responsibility.
was dying on the cross, it was painful. But he saw the freedom that it will bring to people.
Wow.
Sometimes people think that their dreams is always going to bring joy. Your dream will take you to some difficult parts. And when I talk about your dream, it's God's dream. It will take you to some parts, some places you don't want to go to. And in that season, will it bring joy? Jesus, in fulfilling his own dream, sweated blood. So sometimes we just feel, oh, following Jesus is all about joy, 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 joy. I want to talk about joy. It's not really joy, it's happiness. Because joy is a fruit of the Spirit. Happiness is about what is happening around you. Maybe people are giving these accolades for you and everything. So it's giving you that high.
Emotional high.
That high. But you see, there's some parts of your work that I like to maybe shamelessly talk about the book I wrote many years, Advancing Your Career. Your job is not, or what you are called to do is not 100% fulfilling in terms of there are some parts that you will not like. But you are doing it because God's name will be made known. When you come to that, then you are truly free.
Wow. So there's a higher perspective than
Yeah. There's a higher perspective.
that emotional high. Oh, that's so good, sir. Thank you so much. I want to ask a question also that came in.
Okay.
In your statement, you said God has different ways to accomplish his plans for a person's life. And if you have blown the first one, he will create another one. Are you saying that it doesn't matter whether a person lives recklessly or not, despite knowing about their life assignment? And that if he or she blows it up, God will still create another one?
God is also in a journey of redeeming us. Okay, let's put it this way. I said God has a purpose for you, but plans to fulfill it. You may have blown one plan, another plan is still there. Look at the journey it took man through to Christ. All the people that were in genealogy of Jesus Christ blew it one way or the other. Same thing. You have a daughter.
Yeah.
Does she mess up sometimes when you say don't go there?
Yes.
Why don't you try away? If you know being evil, know how to do that. What about your heaven? What about we cannot even define God's love. It can't be defined, it can only be encountered. When you encounter it, you won't want to misbehave. The rabbis believe that the Bible can be summarized in the story of the prodigal son. Any way. What did the father do to the prodigal son?
Welcome.
Threw him away?
No.
God's method of redemption is beyond us. Even the one that is even against you, that is not happy with you, that is saying, take bearing against you, he still has a plan for that person.
I think that's where the tension is.
Yeah.
We're trying to understand that redemption plan according to our own.
No, we are trying to define redemption by our own.
By our own, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. The thief on the cross. Even Paul held the garment of those that were stoning Stephen. What happened? All the disciples abandoned him. Peter spoke against him or denied him while hitting himself on the fire. When he came to meet Jesus, when he went to fish, the fire was burning. And Jesus cooked them meals for them to eat. God is in constant pursuit for the redemption of man. He hasn't given up yet. We were created in his image. So if we know that, then we won't behave like Jonah, who ran away from Nineveh. That when man is repenting, God is not on top, pointing, accusing finger. This is what they say in Hebraic teaching. It's called divine mirroring. That when you are leaning down, repenting, God is by your side.
Wow.
Welcome home, my son. He said, what if the person ends up in prison? There are people in prison. We may not understand it. Just like God asked Jonah, if you can care for this plant like this and be angry, what about these people? And that's how the book of Jonah ended with a question. Maybe we'll continue when we see him face to face.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
That's all the questions we have. But I'm just going to encourage for those who are online. Okay, we have more questions. I'm just going to encourage those who are online to get the message, go through it again, listen to it, wrestle with the teaching, like Reverend would say. And of course, we'll be here again next week by the same time. But before we go, sir, any final thoughts, final words on the message, living by God's design?
I rounded off, and that's what's coming to my heart now. Think long term. Long term. What you are doing now may not seem very good now. But the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3, it will make all things beautiful in its time. Not in God's time. In the maturation of that thing. Nobody will see you now when you are caring for those who cannot care for themselves.
Yeah.
But if we don't think long term, the world is programming us to think the immediate, instant gratification, and everything.
Yes.
So if your dream does not manifest in 3 months, then you can abandon it.
Yeah.
But if we think long term, if we act long term, we'll be able to see that even what God has put in your life now, you may not even see the fullness of it blossoming, but you will set up the next generation to succeed. To tell them what is possible. That their flaw will be your ceiling. And push that boundaries and the frontiers so much that you set them to succeed. So they will have an advantage that you didn't have. So that they can run well. Because it is in their finishing that we will also receive our reward.
Wow.
So, the secret things belongs to the Lord. But the ones He has revealed to us belongs to us and our children. So, I need to live my life in such a way that I will be a model or what is what is possible that they can carry like a legacy, heritage for the next generation. I hope that.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And I think with this, we can wrap it up for this week.
Thank you, Pastor Daniel.
Like we said, next week we'll be here again, same time, same channel, for another edition of the Different Thinking Chat with Reverend Benson Akhigbe II.
Thank you so much. And I hope that every day will usher in you repenting and thinking differently.
Yes.
God bless you all. Shalom.
Shalom.